Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the group stage week of Osaka World Cup 2021. I am Beat43210 and today we're going to be watching Philippines against Costa Rica. Joining me today will be none other than Mr. Boo, and both of us will be commentating this matchup. Mr. Boo, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty alright. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty well. We just saw a matchup recently. It was pretty fun to watch between South Korea and Colombia. While it was a sweep, it certainly didn't play like one. And now we may be seeing some more close action in this next matchup. So.
Alright. Yeah,
So go ahead.
So, I'm somewhat familiar with Costa Rica's players. I do know Puihela and Hotman specifically. But coming from the looking at the players on Philippines, JMAO7 in particular, I have played with them before, and they're a phenomenal player from the Philippines. And I'm also aware that the Philippines is a high seed, whereas Costa Rica is unseeded. But that's not going to, I guess, justify any sort of outcome, because really anything can happen between these two teams, I feel.
Philippines is definitely the higher seed in this matchup compared to Costa Rica. But nothing is impossible at the end of the day.
But yeah, is there anyone from the Philippines that you have personally played with, though? Or aware of, at least?
I think Pokercho is probably someone who I've played with before. In the community scene a little bit. But yeah, some of the other players in the Philippines, they're not the most active in the community scene. So I'm not too familiar with how well they will perform. But who knows? There is a bit of a delay as there's a bit of technical issues going on their end.
Yeah,
so
hopefully
we will have to sit around and wait a few minutes for everything to get sorted and fixed on their end. In the meanwhile, I think it'd be fair to quickly recap their group and bring everyone up to speed with what has unfolded in their group thus far. So, at the start of the week, we did see Pardon? Are we changing? I see. So it looks like they are getting into the lobby. So we will have to wait a few minutes before things get started. And there we go. Players are getting into the lobby.
Yeah, so real quick, on the topic of kind of recapping what's happened on their groups, so both the Philippines and Costa Rica, they're from Group B, where they also have Russian Federation and Argentina in their group. Now, Philippines, as the high seed, I don't believe they've played in their group yet.
I don't think so. I've been trying to find Dolan's sheet, which is somewhat. There, so yeah, no, Philippines have not actually started any of the matches yet. They are one of the very last teams to be starting off their matches. The only other team that has yet to play a match is Singapore, and Singapore is actually playing against the United States in another lobby right now. So yeah, Philippines looking to get a good start on the board. They are seeded 15th in the tournament. They are second in their group, at least on paper. But nothing is always as you expect it to be. Costa Rica did lose in an earlier matchup against Argentina. They got swept 5-0.
But to be fair to Costa Rica, that is the top seed of that group going up against the unseeded Costa Rica.
Yeah, and even the third seed of Group B, which is Russia, they also played against Argentina and also got swept 5-0. So it's certainly Argentina is a very dominant team in their group, and it will be interesting when Philippines eventually does take on Argentina. But there's a time and place for that.
Wow, Pochaco rolling a 100.
Oh my God, Pochaco's got his rolls on point. He is. He practiced all those bancho rolls while we were waiting for like the lobby and everything to get themselves together.
Absolutely, that can be so important.
Got that roll game on point. So Pochaco will be pretty happy. I think that is the highest roll of the tournament. I don't think anyone else has managed to actually roll a 100. I could be wrong on that, but still definitely going to be leading player Pochaco on a higher note to start off with. And as such, Costa Rica will be banning first.
Now, knowing the players on Costa Rica, just a projection on my end, because that's what I tend to like to do. I was actually thinking they'd ban Hidden too, but No Mod 4 also does make sense.
No Mod 4 makes sense because Parasite is a gimmick map. It requires a lot of preparation beforehand and a fair amount of either memorization or like reconfiguration, since the bar line is basically treated as a node. And when you only have a 3-player team like Costa Rica, and you need 2 of those players to be able to perform that, it's very hard to find. Even teams who have like a full 5 players have been banning Parasite, so it's a bit understandable to see Costa Rica do the same thing. Although I am disappointed because gimmick players.
I'm a little less confident on what the Philippines is gonna ban. Knowing the skill set of the players who I'm familiar with, you know, Hidden. I mean, again, Hidden 2 seems like a potential removal from the pool, but I can also see maybe Free Mod 1.
I would personally, if I'm in the Philippines, I'd ban No Mod 2. Try to get rid of the easier maps in the pool. And try and force Costa Rica to play at a higher level.
That's also very true. Now, they do go with Hidden 1.
Interesting ban.
Yeah, I would say smoother Hidden in terms of just a Hidden that's a little bit easier to play if you're not necessarily as comfortable with Hidden. Maybe the chart's more difficult, or the beat map, sorry, is more difficult, but
like the structure of the maps is
rough.
Like the structure of Hidden 1 is a lot more difficult to play, and you do require a higher technical skill to perform it. But Reincarnation also has its fair bit of challenges in terms of reading, recalling, and so forth. And the just overall increased length of time that you have to process notes in your head and delay your response. And now we have to sit around and wait for the Philippines to open up with their first pick. They have all 3 nomads, which you just play the maps as they are. Hidden 2, we played the Hidden mod. Both Hard Rocks, both Double Times, and all 3 free mods in play. Now there's a lot of choices for the Philippines to open with. The Philippines having a full 5-man roster, they are more flexible in how they go about doing things.
Absolutely. I think they can definitely touch up on a lot more skill sets.
And Pochaco is informing that they had banned the wrong Hidden pick. Whoops. Oh no.
That,
That's a yikes.
Uh-oh.
You don't say that out loud. No. But will Costa Rica pick Hidden too, though? That is the other question.
Like I said, reincarnation is rough. I don't... If Costa Rica is able to play it, then, I mean, that'd be a monumental...
That'd be huge.
Yeah.
You know, if Philippines genuinely misbanned with Hidden 1, and you can play Hidden 2, which was their intended purpose, if they're being genuine about the mistake, then it can be a huge opportunity for Costa Rica. But will they go for it? We will have to see next pick, because Philippines is still picking first, and after quite a fair bit of deliberation, they are settling on free mod 2. Which is going to be Energy Tricks. Probably the most anti-mod of all three of the free mod picks, as it has a lot of variable SV elements that will trip up players if you're using either Hidden or Hard Rock, or both. So, we will see how the players go. Sorry, you wanted to say something?
Oh, I was just gonna say, I feel like I'm going to be seeing JMech come in for the Philippines, and I know that they're capable of HDHR on this map, although, again, I mean, HDHR on a free mod is very risky. And if I remember correctly, Energy Tricks is relatively long. Which does downplay the riskiness of having to go HDHR.
Well, maybe, but if you're going to go with Hidden Hard Rock, it does have its fair amount of challenges. And you don't want to be one of those players who overcommits to playing multiple mods and then suffering as a result of not being able to keep up with the map's demands. It's entirely possible, but you never know with these things. Now, for those who are a little bit unfamiliar with how free mod works in Taiko, both players, there will be two players obviously playing. One player has to use a mod, so either Hidden Hard Rock or Hidden Hard Rock. And the other player can do whatever they like, as long as it's not copying your teammate. So if Hotman decides to go with Hard Rock, Poi cannot go with Hard Rock. Poi will have to pick something else. Likewise, if Pokecho went with no mod, JMeth cannot go with no mod. But yes, this has admittedly been a bit of a slow start for the matchup, but that is all good, because things are going along at a nice, smooth pace. There are other matches going on, which are just as exciting to follow along. We do have Nightbot, who is currently updating all of the MP links for you guys to check out, because alongside Philippines and Costa Rica, which we are streaming, we have Singapore against the United States. They're playing against each other. That's going to be a interesting matchup to watch, to follow along in the MP link. South Korea is going up against Mexico, and Canada is taking on Thailand.
Yeah, so it's looking like if the Philippines aren't going to do any roster changes here last second, it is going to be Pochako and JMet. Kind of what I expected for a free mod pick from the Philippines. And on Costa Rica's side, we do see Hotman and Pui.
That's fair. Meanwhile, Walter Toro now being added reft into the lobby. And we are actually going to be starting the match. So, after a bit of wait, it looks like we are going to get underway with the very first map in the group stage, as Philippines and Costa Rica clash on Fremont 2. Pokecho and Poyella are both going with Hidden, and JMeth opting for Hard Rock, and finally Hotman will go with no mod.
Okay, so there is going to be that one mod advantage coming from the Philippines. No hidden Hard Rocks from any of the players in the lobby, which, again, that is the safer pick. And with the very first point of the match underway, it's tough to gauge nerves of the players and how things are going to go on an individual basis.
Especially with the build-up that we've had in the past 20 minutes, 15 minutes for the map to get started.
Right.
And here we go.
Oh.
We're starting to see
Hotman
some action.
Dropping, but Pochako also returns that drop just shortly after.
Yeah. Philippines is being boosted by the extra mod that they have. Pogacar trades misses with Puigdella. JMet currently carrying the lobby, single-handedly contributing to Philippines' about 30,000 point lead that they currently have.
Yeah, JMet is very much an accuracy-centric player, so it isn't out of the ordinary to see this kind of performance coming from JMet right now. Hotman again dropping right as the SB dips.
Yeah, Philippines is enjoying JMet's 99.5%. Keep in mind, with Hard Rock, you're playing with a higher OD requirement. I believe it is 8.4, which certainly adds a bit of strain, but not enough for JMet to pick up any sort of misses or have hard accuracy drops. As we're seeing Pogacar and Puigdella and Hotman all having a far more difficult time playing. Sitting at 97% across all three of them. And now the song goes to the very last TI time. Philippines is currently in the lead by about 170,000 points. They're looking for a very convincing showing. And it
looks like all players getting through that 1-6 section pretty well.
Yep, and nobody missing for a while. Never mind, Pogacar missing at the end of that stream. Picking up a combo break at the very end there.
But still, JMet, quite a phenomenal score. Is that 7 100s on Hard Rock? 6.
Oh wow, it was actually 6. I miscounted. I thought it was 7. But fair enough. 6 100s. Definitely good stuff for JMet. Puigdella also doing fairly alright with only 3 misses. They're held a little bit back by 37 100s. Pogacar getting 29 100s, 9 misses with 97 accuracy, the lowest in the lobby, and Hotman getting, what was it, 19 100s, I think 8 misses with 98 ac. However, he does not get as many points as the other players do because he was playing with no mod. So Philippines took a while to get there, but Philippines have finished off the map and they've gotten their point. They've converted on their first pick. And now Costa Rica. What will they do? Will they trust Philippines misban and go with Hidden 2? Or are they themselves going to try something else because they themselves may not be as confident in playing Hidden 2? So we will see. What will Costa Rica open with as their first pick?
Would they play it safe? They could go for maybe some form of a speedier pick. I know
like
that...
Lilith? You want to play 270 BPM? Or are you thinking like a different, faster pick?
No, I do mean Lilith. Now, it sounds weird, but Costa Rica, their players are known for being able to play some faster, more technically challenging stuff. So it wouldn't be out of the ordinary to try to play to that sort of strong suit from the players on Costa Rica first off.
Well, I guess maybe it's possible they are entertaining the idea, but they have rejected that entirely. They have not opted to go with Hidden 2. They have actually decided to play Rise again, shaking off the loss in Pre-Mod 2. They're going with Pre-Mod 3.
Okay.
Which is an interesting choice, actually. I wouldn't have expected it, but you know what? I don't mind.
Now, this map is nearly 4 minutes long, so I think if either Pochako or JMet are going to do Hidden Hard Rock on any map, the best map to do it would be this one right here.
I would disagree and say it's actually hit if Fremont won, but it's fair enough. You have your own opinion. And I say that because the song is 3 minutes and 50 seconds long, so when you do have such a very long map like this, you know, and a very streamy one for that matter, if you do slip up, you can miss a ridiculous amount of notes and it can bite back harder than other maps would. Especially when there's not a big, especially when you're playing with hidden enabled and you're going through a very lengthy stream, you lose track of where you are in the middle of the stream, and then you spend maybe 5, 10, 20 notes trying to figure out where you are. There have been other players in the community who have suffered a lot in the past in previous World Cups by not being able to recover fast enough in those type of circumstances.
And that is fair, but given the object count of the map and the like sheer length of the song, just to sort of give you my sort of take on this particular pick, it's very lenient on how many times you can make a mistake but still have the benefit of having those 2 mods, that extra 60,000 point advantage, and really take that home with HDHR, which we actually see Pochako.
Chaka's going for it. He's going for the hidden hard rock. So, and JMeth going to go hard rock, Hotman with hidden, and Pojella with no mod. So, Philippines is going to have the double mod advantage, which if everybody played flawlessly, will give Philippines extra 120,000 points. Which is a very big advantage to have. But that is only if you can back it up with amazing accuracy, or at least decent accuracy. And you see, even though that Philippines have 2 mods, Costa Rica is holding the lead for now. Well, at least they were before the major stream. But now as the streams start flying along, I imagine the consistency will rise.
Right. With all of that extra subdivision in between notes, Pochako has definitely found their groove, and that accuracy is just climbing. Really, all Pochako needs to have that advantage is if Pochako was able to get an S and keep his accuracy above 98%, that would definitely make the HDHR worth it.
Well, right now it's paying off for the Philippines because Pochako still on full combo, has above 98%. Ideally, you want to aim for 98.5%, but because they have the double mod advantage, Pochako could probably afford to lose up to down to like 97, and that's assuming Costa Rica themselves are like nearly at a double S. So, especially when you do have the double mods to play with, you definitely have quite a bit of an accuracy buffer that you can settle with. And even though Pocho has the lowest accuracy in the lobby, it doesn't matter. 98.5 is pretty good. And it is doing more than enough, actually. As nobody misses in the first nearly half of the song. Ooh. I should have kept my mouth shut. I should have not said anything. Hot man, I am so sorry.
Say that.
Spoke too soon. But that is all good for Philippines. They're going to try and exploit that. Not only do they now have the double mod advantage that's still working for them, they now have combo momentum. And Hotman's going to be racing his way back up to 400.
Right.
So, we will see. Will fortunes change for Costa Rica in the last half of the song?
Was that client?
That... I am not aware if that's client. I will assume it is not the client. And if that's the case, we will, for now, assume that both players had a combo reset on the Costa Rican side. But Pogacho and J-Man will also have a double combo reset. All the players are now losing their concentration. You know, they're getting to the 3-minute part of the song. They've just been playing all these major streams. Maybe it's starting to affect them a lot more now. And we're seeing more misses picking up in the last half of the song. Unfortunately for the Costa Rica, Philippines is in an overwhelming lead. They're ahead by 120,000 points.
I mean, it really would have...
The double mod advantage, I'm telling you.
Exactly. I mean, it's extremely important if you're down the mod advantage to be holding Phenomenal Act and then FC, but that was a really peculiar miss from Huijela. I actually have no idea why that happened. It seemed like his inputs just were coming in extremely late.
Yeah, and, you know, it happens to the best of us, and unfortunately for Costa Rica, they will be losing this pick, and they'll lose it in fairly convincing fashion as they wrap up with a 140,000 deficit. Philippines comfortably holding on to those extra points.
And again, Jama, they're showing off that accuracy. 13-100 play, despite the one miss.
Yeah, and even Pachaco himself, getting only 6 misses for 4100s, very phenomenal performance. Would have actually beaten a
double S single mod
yeah,
play.
like a double. Yeah.
Yeah, because it is above that 1,060,000, which does 100%. Make that HDHR extremely worth it.
Yep. And only in lengthier maps like Rise Again, where you can miss multiple times and you can still actually come out on top.
Absolutely.
With double mod. So we will see. Now, Philippines getting the pick again. After a bit of a slow start, they've now snatched a breakpoint off Costa Rica, and they're looking to try and solidify a 3-0 lead, being up a breakpoint. And they're going to sit around and deliberate for a while, figuring out what to do.
I think they're picking HR2. Judging from what I'm reading in the chat.
Oh, yes, I actually missed that. Looks like they're picking Cutie Ladies. That will be Hard Rock 2, Tiger Eyes. Wait, I just realized he's not in the call. That is Hard Rock 2. The more consistent, accuracy-demanding Hard Rock pick. So... we'll see how they go. So for those who do not know, Cutie Lady is the Hard Rock 2 pick, has an OD of 6.5, which when you add a Hard Rock is 9.1. Pretty high up there in terms of the accuracy requirement. 3 minutes 13 seconds in length with 200 DPM. It is fairly consistent in its map structure and density and so forth. There's a couple of spikes, a couple of slowdowns, but fairly reading-wise, it is consistent. And a pure test of accuracy at the highest play, Hard Rock, for this stage of the pool.
Yeah, as an HR pick, this is definitely going to be kind of like a UR consistency test. Definitely going to have to see some tight robotic gameplay from all of the players. Now, there was that roster swap from the Philippines here. We're seeing Rimazi coming in for Pachaco. Jama still holding the spot, which does make sense. Jama is
fairly good Hard Rock player.
Right.
He's coming right off the back of playing Rise Again in Hard Rock, so you know, you're still in the same Hard Rock mindset, which might be a bit advantageous in some capacity. But we will see.
And again, Hard Rock 2 being 3 minutes and 13 seconds. It's a little bit of a mental test as well.
Certainly is a fair amount of mental test. A lot of players can attest to, both in the chat and personally. Confirm that. I second that assessment. And we did see, you know, around the 3-minute mark last pick, may see a similar story happen where first half everyone's looking solid, but then the second half people may start slipping up. We will see. Right now, Rimazi and J-Man are taking on Hotman and Pogella in Hard Rock 2. And here we go. When the client wants to start, there we go.
Honestly, this beginning section here can be very difficult because all of those offbeats, no real subdivision. It can be very easy to drop combo, and drop accuracy actually. And it looks like Ramazi and JMet both pulled the double S through that introduction section. We've got Hotman and Quij both dropping AC below the 99% mark, and Hotman actually taking a drop.
Yeah. That's going to be a bad start for Costa Rica, but this is a very long map, and there's certainly time for comebacks to occur. However, for now, they're going to have to wait for the Philippines to slip up. They've both cleared the introduction with double S's, and then Ramazi lost the double S. That is rather unfortunate, but not as
with a drop.
That is not as bad as Pogella with the drop, picking up a huge 3% deficit, which continued to extend. Following issues trying to stabilize himself. JMet, only person left still with double S, looking at Rick.
Nope.
Nope. Nope, no longer on the double S.
Yeah, in fact, actually, a 100, and then a couple of notes later taking the drop.
Yep.
Surely listening to you.
Yes.
Oh, Puig and Hotman both dropping combo again at around the same time there, right before the Ki.
Yeah, both of them getting the combo reset. Oh, that's going to be very painful. The Philippines is going to try and exploit this, and both of them, actually, as Ramazi is above 400 and JMet getting very close to 400. But yeah, that is all good.
Only about a minute left of the song. This is looking like a pretty commanding lead coming from the Philippines. Especially looking at JMet and Ramazi's AC, and the fact that they're both already above that 400 combo threshold. Both players from Costa Rica still clawing back up to that point. Hotman does reach it.
100%. And Ramazi, the only player left on the full combo, he's looking for a really good finish in the last section here.
I actually don't think Ramazi is on an FC.
Oh, he might not be, actually. Is he not? He might? Oh, I'm trying to remember how many notes is in the song. I think he is still in the full combo. There's no way he's at... I don't think he's at 99.7, having a 1400 combo and then missing. Unless this is peaceful and he misses at the very end, like what happened last match, but I doubt it.
Actually, yeah, no, you could be right. I might be thinking about a previous point. Yeah, actually, Ramazi
there we go.
Holding the S.
My memory does not fail me, at least not yet. So Ramazi finishes off with 9 100s. JMet doing pretty well himself. 1 miss, 6 100s. Both of them scoring over 1 million points, which is what you want to look for in a mod pick, generally. And very convincingly beat out Hotman and Pogella. So, good results for them. They're on a 3-0 start. Costa Rica looking to get on the board sooner rather than later.
And it is their pick, so they do have a little bit more of an advantage to definitely do so.
Well, we will see. They are picking second, so when you do pick second, you get more picks towards the end. But they are down at breakpoint, and if you're down at breakpoint, you have to convert on it at some point. And Costa Rica would love to convert on that breakpoint sooner rather than later. Unfortunately for them, they first need to get through their own pick, which is what they're deciding on right now. And they still have a lot of choices in the pool. They have 3 no mods, they have the Hidden 2, Hard Rock 1, they have both DTs, and Free Mod 1, so the pool is still quite diverse in what, you know, it's still quite diverse in their options, but starting to tighten up a little bit. You know, Costa Rica would love to get on the board sooner. Like I said, they want to get on the board sooner rather than later, and ideally before the pool closes too much.
Right. Now, I'd say some problem spots where Costa Rica may want to avoid would definitely be Nomad 2. Nomad 1, I also would say they could pick, but I mean, against the skill set that the Philippines has. Looks like they're going to go with Nomad 3, Lilith.
And it looks like they're going to go with the speed pick. So, after a bit of time deliberating on what they're going to go with, they've settled upon Lilith as the next pick. For those who do not know, as you know, there are some people who are tuning in for the first time, Lilith as a map is fairly fast oriented. It's one of the fastest maps in the pool, clocking in about 270 BPM. Density isn't as high as you might expect, but it is still quite a challenge for players who cannot keep up with the pace of the song. And like some of the other maps that we've been seeing in this match, it is not the shortest in the world either. So it's not like last year's DT group stage map, where it was like 280 DT, but only a minute long. This is 3 minutes, and sure, there's a fair amount of downtime in between. You always still got to be on your toes, ready to do a lot of 270 bursts. So.
Yeah, again, as I said, I think a couple of picks before, this pick is definitely going to play a little bit more to the strengths of Costa Rica. And it makes a lot of sense that they might have like held on to it for a pick to sort of gauge maybe a slightly weaker skill set. But I do feel like this one in particular is probably going to be Costa Rica's strongest skill set.
Mm-hmm. And we'll see where they go. Looks like Philippines is trying to invite Finby. I think that's the correct pronunciation. And I do apologize if that is wrong. But looks like Finby will be playing for the Philippines. If we can first confirm he is online to be invited. Because if Finby is the Philippines' second player for this map and they may not show up, that would be problematic. Although it may just be a bit of an issue of tournament servers swapping over and whatnot, so give it a bit of time. But we will see. Yep, looks like Finby has shown up.
Kind of trying to remember this map from the showcase.
Oh, I mean, what do you need to know? Because I've been playing the whole week.
I'm just trying to remember were the key eyes of the song the densest sections of the map?
Yep, the key eye times are definitely the densest sections of the map. The reason why is that there's a lot of 3, 5, 7, even 9 pattern bursts, where it's just pure 270 BPM. Compared to the slower sections of the song, where it's a lot more single tapping, you can get away with a lot more single tapping, and it's actually even easier to read at the slower levels that are outside of the key eye times. So, yes, it follows a very traditional pattern in the sense where outside of the key eye time, it's not as dense. The key eye time is the most dense and difficult part. But anyways, after a bit of stall, we get underway with Lilith. And Hotman picks up an early miss in the introduction here.
Again, though, I mean, with this early, if Hotman can hold it for the rest of the song, that's definitely the best place to miss.
I mean, yeah, especially the combo momentum won't be as drastic, as it is an early miss. So, here we go. The song's going to start escalating in density, and Hotman is being the only player so far that's been getting caught off guard.
Quihella again, dropping some accuracy.
But it's still a fairly good 99% is a good start.
Absolutely.
But unfortunately, both players in the Philippines are holding on extremely well. J-Man on the double S. Oh, that was well good. And now here we go to the very first KI time of the song. Both players in the Philippines holding on to very good full combos and very strong accuracies to go with it. Quihella had a miss right before the start of the KI time. And Hotman been struggling to find some pace in the song, but is still holding an A rank. As those triple patterns and those finishes will wear down the player's endurance with time.
Ooh,
and speaking of which, Finby will pick up the miss as the strain of the map starts to get to him. And he dropped huge act as well. I think he lost a full % with that. I could be wrong.
Yeah, no, he was teetering right at the 99% mark.
Yeah. So it looks like Costa Rica may be getting a bit of a lifeline. Unfortunately for them, Hotman's still trying to stabilize.
Ooh, J-Med dropping that double S with 100.
But Finby holding Philippines back from getting much combo points. But they've been getting a fair amount of combo momentum in their favor, which is contributing to a very good 80,000 lead. And especially when J-Man's still running on a near double S, it's a definite powerhouse in getting towards Philippines' 4th point.
Yeah, really solid performance from J-Man here. And Finby also holding pretty strong despite that pretty gnarly drop there right at the middle of the song. And as I speak, compared to the performances of both Hotman and Quihella right now, although Quihella is holding phenomenal AC as well.
Yeah, and Quihella, even though Quihella did miss once, credit is due where it's needed to be due. And getting 99.5%, only 12 100s and 1 miss is still a very strong result.
Yeah.
And J-Man, only 2 100s, that is very, very strong.
That honestly could have spelled a very different story if all of Hotman's misses were centralized in one particular spot.
Maybe.
Instead of kind of sprinkled throughout that map. The combo momentum definitely played a role there for that score difference between the two teams. Now it is Philippines' match point and their pick as well.
Costa Rica questioning whether or not even though they wanted to ban Hidden 2 to start with, Costa Rica's just like, do we want to play Hidden 2 for the memes? Come on. Let's do it for the funds. But will Philippines agree? That depends. Philippines has full power. If they do not want to play Hidden 2, they can play whatever they want. And they have straight up denied Costa Rica by bringing out the VTuber fans. Ugh. And it looks like Philippines will be taking on Costa Rica DT2.
Nice hololiver pick.
No. No. There's a reason why my team banned this.
No, it looks like Philippines is doing a swap of roster here. Jaima has played in every single point so far.
I mean, look,
I think we're gonna get Pachaco.
No, Pachaco was just playing. I don't think he would be playing yet. Like, he may be sitting somewhere in the lobby, but I'm not sure. But you know what? It is. What? Did you notice something?
Pachaco didn't just play. That was Finby, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, you're right. Finby is playing. What am I saying? Okay, I am blind. Objectively blind. Oh my god. He must have came back in right after the pick. Sorry, because like I saw the empty slot and I was thinking, oh wait, must have just been Pochako. Even though it's not. My bad. But you know what? It's totally fine. Doesn't matter who's playing at the end of the day, because Philippines, they do have a 5-man roster. They're going out there and they're throwing in all their players and their respective picks, getting them a bit of exposure, which is pretty important. You know, especially you want to give them a bit of spotlight, but also you want to give them that World Cup experience, which they may use to build upon in either later rounds or later matches or even later cups. So
we're seeing Rimazi coming back in for the Philippines there on match point, DT2. Now, with DT, this map is 4 minutes and 3 seconds long. Or...
yeah, no, that's with double time. So,
okay.
No, that's without double time. So with double time, this song is about 2 minutes 50 something. I think it's like nearly 3 minutes. I didn't practice this map, so like I don't. Yeah, there we go. 2 minutes 42. The client corrected. Wow, the laser client actually corrects double time length when it recognizes. I didn't know that, but that doesn't matter. We just have to wait for Hotman to sync up, and we will get underway shortly. As Hotman enables time stop on everybody else.
Oh, that's certainly a strategy.
It is a good strategy. Unfortunately, it only works for a few seconds. But Hotman picking up the early miss. And Costa Rica suffering from the early accuracy deficit.
I was just about to comment on the fact that Rimazi and J-Man both had identical acts, but Rimazi did drop a little bit. A little bit of a fun fact, this is... Rimazi is actually the newest addition to the Philippines roster. All of the players from the Philippines have played in the last Taiko World Cup, but they have just recruited Rimazi for the very first time, so this may be Rimazi's very first Taiko World Cup.
And you know what? If it is, he's definitely been putting on a good showing in maps he has played so far, including this one. I mean, you're playing DT2, 240 BPM, with the whole live song, and you're still running on a full combo halfway into the song. It's definitely a good start.
Definitely. Hotman, unfortunately, making a couple more drops there. It's rough to be contending with two 99% acts. Pujella holding on with a 98, although teetering.
But
up and down a
Rimazi
little bit.
picks the miss. Pujella breaks right back.
Returning it, and Hotman.
And Hotman adds some tax to it, giving Philippines a bigger lead.
And a little bit of an accuracy struggle there on that denser section from Pujella.
And it looks like, as a result, Philippines is going to have a nice 150,000 lead, but J-Man loses the full combo.
On that 1-3, it was just 4 cats, but I mean, that can be enough. Rimazi also taking a little bit of a drop. I still don't think that's enough at the moment. It's going to have to be a little bit more of a insane drop.
And it looks like as things wrap up to the end here, Philippines in the lead by about 160,000 points. They're looking extremely well to take down this map, and they will win 5-0 in convincing fashion.
No S on the board.
Nope. Everybody picked up a mistake one way or another at some point in the song. Although, J-Man did have the highest combo, with 5100s, 1 miss, and a combo of 1061. So, there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. Philippines giving off a little taste of things to come, as they have a very tough week ahead of them. They have to play against both Argentina, who has destroyed Russia and Costa Rica, and they got to play against Russia, of which the community is very divided on in terms of the pick'ems. So it's going to be interesting to see how Philippines continue. They've definitely shown a very good start, and we will see if they will be able to continue that momentum in the future rounds, in the future maps, and in the future matches. So
Absolutely. And I mean, judging from the performance that we've seen just now, like, JMAT was